Iran has offered a new 14-point proposal to the United States in the latest diplomatic step to reach a permanent end to the war, which has exposed the limits of U.S. military dominance and shaken the global economy. Responding to the new proposal on Saturday, U.S. President Donald Trump said he is studying it but is not sure he can make a deal with Iran, a day after he voiced frustration with a previous offer from Tehran through the mediator Pakistan.
With the odds stacked heavily against him, Golden Tempo stormed to an improbable victory at the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs, making trainer Cherie DeVoe the first woman to saddle the winner of the most famous horse race in the United States. Sent off at the odds of 24-1 in the race on Saturday, Golden Tempo broke slowly under jockey Jose Ortiz and trailed the 18-horse field before threading through traffic and unleashing a late charge from the outside to claim the run for the roses by a neck on a brisk day in Louisville, Kentucky.
Two activists from a Gaza-bound humanitarian aid flotilla who were detained and abducted by Israeli authorities have appeared in court in Israel. An Israeli rights group representing them says Saif Abu Keshek from Spain and Brazilian Thiago Avila attended court proceedings in Ashkelon on Sunday. Miriam Azem, the international advocacy coordinator at Adala, told Al Jazeera.
And two women thought to be from Sudan have died while trying to cross from northern France to the United Kingdom in a small boat, French officials say. The women, believed to be in their 20s, were on board a boat carrying 82 people, Christophe Marx, a regional government official, told reporters on Sunday. And the start time for the Pakistan Super League 11 final has been changed. The PSL 11 final will now begin at 8 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. Hyderabad Kingsmen and Peshawar Zalmi will face each other in the title clash. And with World Cup 2026 tickets still on sale just weeks before the June 11 kickoff, prices now range from around $380 for the cheapest group stage seats to an eye-watering $2.3 million for final tickets on several resale platforms. The most expensive official group stage ticket currently available is for the United States opening match against Los Angeles, priced at up to $4,105, according to the Associated Press, AP.
Senior meteorologist Mohammed Aslam on Sunday warned of rising temperatures across southern Punjab, Sindh and Balochistan and advising the public to stay hydrated exposure between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. as a further 3 to 4 degree increase is expected after May 6. While speaking to a local media outlet, the expert said that with rising increase in patients, hospitals are witnessing an increase in patients suffering from heat-related illnesses. Sindh Senior Minister Sharjeel Enam Memon on Sunday acknowledged that the Bus Rapid Transit, BRT, Red Line had proven to be a very tough project for the provincial government, but asserted that there had been no delay on its end. Speaking to reporters in Karachi, Memon said the Sindh government had to make some difficult decisions on the BRT Red Line after all other options were exhausted.
And Nigeria has summoned South Africa's acting High Commissioner over a spate of recent attacks on foreigners in the southern African nation. Nigeria will formally convey its profound concern at a meeting on Monday over incidents in South Africa, saying they could affect existing relations between the countries, according to a foreign ministry statement.
The Strait of Hormuz, a narrow waterway once carrying roughly a fifth of the world's oil and gas, remains effectively closed after the United States and Iran imposed competing blockades. Naval blockades are one of the oldest weapons in warfare, requiring no ground troops or invasion, just the ability to cut off what an enemy needs to survive. These blockades have reshaped economies, societies and alliances across generations, sometimes with instant shockwaves, sometimes with effects only seen later.
And Punjab has decided to introduce satellite internet service as part of its plan to accelerate digital connectivity across the province. PMLN leader and Punjab Chief Minister's senior advisor Senator Anush Raman announced the decision while speaking at a leadership summit at a private university in Lahore.
The Federal Constitutional Court has struck down a notification that granted lifetime additional perks to former Balochistan chief secretaries and their widows. The court also dismissed an appeal filed by the Balochistan chief secretary against an earlier ruling of the Balochistan High Court.
And Karachi is facing intense hot and humid weather as the temperature reached 40 degrees Celsius, while the feels-like temperature climbed to 46 degrees Celsius, according to the Pakistan Meteorological Department. Officials said high humidity has made the weather feel much hotter than the actual temperature. As a result, residents are facing increased discomfort across the city.
The Korean Embassy's 2026 K-Wave Festa at Serena Hotel Islamabad drew heavy public attention after social media users reported overcrowding and mismanagement at the venue. The Embassy of the Republic of Korea had scheduled the cultural event for May 2 at the SBC lawn of the Serena Hotel. The event was planned from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. and was open to the public free of charge.
And the Pakistan Customs Anti-Smuggling Organisation, AS, has foiled 2 major smuggling attempts in South Punjab, seizing illegal goods worth more than Rs. 204.9 million during intelligence-based operations. According to officials, the first operation was carried out at Sawa Shahid Chowk in Muzaffargarh, where customs authorities intercepted a Bedford truck travelling toward Hyderabad.
Since Senior Minister Shahjil Inamman on Sunday acknowledged that the bus rapid transit BRT Red Line had proven to be a very tough project for the provincial government, but asserted that there had been no delay on its end. Speaking to reporters in Karachi, Memon said the Sindh government had to make some difficult decisions on the BRT Red Line after all other options were exhausted.
Japanese researchers are developing an oral drug that could fundamentally change how osteoporosis is treated. Treatment in the coming years can soon change from slowing bone loss to actively rebuilding bone tissue. The findings are linked to ongoing research efforts reported from Osaka Metropolitan University and related scientific coverage.
And British screenwriter Sil and former Prime Minister Imran Khan's ex-wife Jemima Goldsmith is set to remarry following a year-long relationship with an Irish billionaire businessman. British media outlets reported that Goldsmith is in a relationship with Dublin-born financier Cameron O'Reilly, and the couple is believed to be engaged after dating for 12 months. And Lahore Traffic Police have finalised traffic arrangements for the Pakistan Super League PSL 11 final at Gaddafi Stadium, while authorities have also put strict security measures in place for players and officials. The PSL 11 final will be played today in Lahore between Peshawar Zalmi and Hyderabad Kingsmen.
Two senior US Republican lawmakers have criticized a decision by the Pentagon to cut 5,000 US troops stationed in Germany, saying it risked undermining deterrence and would send the wrong signal to Russia. Roger Wicker and Mike Rogers, who chair the Senate and House Armed Services Committees respectively, said that rather than being withdrawn, those troops should be moved further east.
Israel's military has issued new displacement orders to residents in towns and villages in southern Lebanon, including areas beyond its current zone of occupation, despite a truce meant to halt fighting with the armed group Hezbollah. For your safety, you must evacuate your homes immediately and move away from the villages and towns by at least 1,000 meters. 6 miles into open areas, the Israeli military's Arabic language spokesman Avichai Adrei posted on X on Sunday. The United States has approved more than $8.6 billion in arms sales to its key Middle Eastern allies after secretly bypassing Congress, just a few days after Iran shared its proposal to end the war with Pakistani mediators. According to Al Jazeera, the approvals were issued by the U.S. State Department under the Trump administration, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio invoking emergency authority to bypass the usual congressional review process required for major foreign weapons deals.
And US Secretary of State Marco Rubio will visit Rome and the Vatican this week. An Italian government source said on Sunday, just weeks after a clash between Donald Trump and Pope Leo, Rubio, who is a Catholic, is expected to meet Vatican Secretary of State Pietro Parolin and Italian Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani, the source told AFP.
Lucky Marwa, a police official, was martyred in a gun attack in the Kaichi Kamar area of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's Lucky Marwat district on Sunday. Lucky Marwat district police officers DPO spokesman Qudratullah Khan confirmed that terrorists targeted Constable Irfanullah near his house in the Trans River belt known as Kurrampur area. Cities heat up faster than surrounding areas because of how they're built. Urban areas can be up to 5.6 degrees Celsius warmer than nearby regions because of roads, concrete surfaces, and dense construction that absorb heat during the day and release it slowly at night, preventing cities from cooling down. This is known as the urban heat island effect.
And relatives of jailed Iranian human rights campaigner Nargiz Mohammadi and the Nobel Peace Prize Committee have called for her to be transferred to adequate medical facilities following a sharp reported deterioration of her health. On Friday, her family said the 54-year-old had been taken from her prison in northwest Iran to a local hospital, calling the move a last-minute action that may come too late. And China has announced an injunction to block US sanctions placed on 5 Chinese refiners accused of buying oil from Iran. The US sanctions announced by the Department of the Treasury late last month bar the refiners from the US financial system and seek to penalize anyone doing business with the firms. And United States President Donald Trump says he will review the latest Iranian proposal to end the war, but has expressed doubt that the new plan will lead to a deal as the two sides have escalated their rhetoric. And Tehran has sent a 14-point plan to Washington calling for guarantees of non-aggression, sanctions relief, the lifting of a naval blockade and an end to the war on all fronts, including in Lebanon. And this proposal seeks to postpone nuclear talks to a later stage, an issue Trump has considered a red line.
Police in Australia's Northern Territory say they have charged a man with murder in the killing of an Indigenous girl days after the 5-year-old's death sparked protests in an outback town. Jefferson Lewis, 47, was also charged with 2 other offences that cannot be publicly disclosed for legal reasons over the killing of Kumanjayi little baby. The name by which the victim is known in lines with Indigenous custom, police said in a statement on Sunday. Japanese boxer Naoya Inoue has retained his undisputed super bantamweight world title with a unanimous decision victory over compatriot Junto Nakatani after a gripping 12-round contest in Tokyo. Inoue said he was relieved to beat Nakatani and stay unbeaten in front of 55,000 fans at a sold-out Tokyo Dome on Saturday.